morgen. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Why do I keep saying buenos dias? Buenas noches. Buenos dias. I am a guy from a place, Charm City, Bibberkeista, Vandal. Marquise is the name my mama gave me. I am in traffic this morning. I am in traffic. And I wanted to do a reflection video, like more intentionally, but I don't actually have the space right now to do that. So I'm gonna do this live to actually do my reflection video. And I just had a lot of thoughts. I've been in some cool rooms lately. Rooms that have been showing me a lot about myself and a lot about what's possible. I mentioned a lot in the early parts of my podcast that we can only go as far as our references. And when I would say that, it was actually me speaking to myself, speaking about my own experience. Like I could only have gone as far as my references, and as of late, I've been blessed to have new references for employment, for like being a creative, for self-expression, and I've been meeting people who fly. People who fly. I believe we all have wings, but I don't believe we all use those wings. I don't think we all put our wings to use. I think there's a lot of fear that limits that choice. This consciousness of clipping our own wings. I've clipped my own wings at different points in my journey. I'm gonna share this on Instagram. I'm gonna see if anybody's into this type of thing. But yeah, I've just been thinking about that a lot this morning. This morning and in the past couple of days, I've just been in this bag of like, what, why, when, where, question, more questions. And it's just been a really good space to sit into. Also doing inner child work. Like a lot of people I've been blessed to get advice from speak about the importance of like freeing your inner child. And I've been thinking about this concept, right? Because it's like, let's talk about the inner child. And I'm thinking so much about how they say man to man. It's man to man. Or like even like women, I'm coming to you as a woman. What if we just come to each other as a child? And this is a wild idea, right? Hear me out. What if I like child to child, inner child to inner child? It's so much more liberating because a lot of the emotions that we are dealing with at times, or the emotions I've dealt with at times, I can't say we, the emotions I've dealt with at times in terms of like angst, anxiety, fears, a lot of that was like based in not feeling seen. And that's the inner child part too, is like this little person that wasn't seen, that grows into this big person that's trying to find all these ways to be visible, all these ways to be valid. And like, we're already valid, but there's this middle passage at times, like there's this point getting back to validity. But yeah, it's just been in my mind a lot, like inner child to inner child, like especially with parental wounds, right? Like parental wounds sometimes look like I'm not thinking about the child my parent was. I'm just thinking about this adult. Oh, you can't go here, you can't do that, you can't do this. It's really the fear that they were raised up upon, and or the fear they've held on to as they kept going. I talked to my mom's and she was just like, she was telling me all of these things she feared growing up. Like my mother's seen bodies in the street. Both of my mothers, my mother and my grandmothers. All my mothers has seen bodies in the street at some point in their experience. And like, when you're being raised by women who've seen black men's bodies in the street, decapitated, brainless, like, they're gonna talk to you different. They're gonna talk to me and tell me to be safe, or don't do this, don't draw too much attention to yourself. They're gonna tell me play it small, because the play at large looks like I'm gonna get my head taken off. Get the brains blown out in the street. Like both my mother and my grandma worry about seeing a body in the street, like shot in the head, body in the street. And we from Baltimore, so like it's supposed to be an expectation that that's the thing, but it shouldn't be. I haven't seen that. I didn't have to see that in my experience, but I got friends who did. And then there's this secondhand trauma we experience. But that's been the biggest thought for me. Like, how does 12-year-old Marquise talk to 12-year-old mom? How does 5-year-old Marquise talk to 5-year-old mom? And did they have similar interests? Do they have similar fears? And the ways that they approach their fears, are the ways that we approach our fears actually where we're having this conflict? All right. And I can do better by showing than I can speaking on it. Like, I'm expressive in public spaces. I'm expressive on social media spaces. And me and my mom been talking about that. Like, my mom might start a page. My mother might start a page. I think that'd be hard. And my mother talking about her journey. My mother starting to share some things that might actually free other people, because ultimately, when we share our experience, we talk about what we go through, is giving people an opportunity to build off of our testimony. So I've just, like I said, been thinking about that a lot. Inner child, little Marquise, this little dude who like is starting to feel guilty about who he is because he watches cartoons too much. He playing the game too much. He got crushes on every girl in his class. He's seeing things before he's supposed to see them, and he's living with this little person guilt. And then it's like these things that get bottled show up in adult situations. And then it's moments where it's like, I wrote this earlier, but I was thinking about how my mother told me about her fears, and I had to sense her like she did the best with what she understood. And that little person that she was grew up to be an adult that could only do but so much in terms of being a parent. And I could be like, there was more healing you were supposed to do. And it's like, what access to healing did my mother have 20 plus years ago? The access I'm blessed to have, the information era is allowing me to be like, I'm a yoga instructor because I studied yoga. Like, my access to yoga was because of a online teacher training. But if I was expected to go in person, I might not have been able to have that access, right? So yeah, we're blessed. Shout out to Mr. Howe in the chat. Some wild things being said in this chat. My Negro, Nurik KZ, Tupac Shakur, West Side, my Negro. I'm your Negro? Who are you? You cannot put those types of comments without a profile picture. That is my rule. I don't believe in it. I believe you might not be an African American. I believe you might not be a Black American. I believe you might not be a Solon. You might not be anything that makes you capable of using such language in my chat room. So I think we need to figure out who you are, Nurk. It's strange, brother. Really strange. I'm in traffic. Understand? Traffic moves slow, so I get to talk, express myself. But Nurk, you're not going to get in my chat using that N-word without a profile picture. You scary bastard. Did your mother raise you to be that type of way? My mother didn't raise me for such things. But yeah, inner child healing, man. Let the inner child speak to the inner child in others. My mentor actually said that, like, think about, would you say this to your 12-year-old mother? It's like, dang, I wouldn't. Why am I saying that to anybody then? I wouldn't say that. Why am I saying that to myself? Nobody deserves that type of language. But some people do. I've been having to find that balance too, because it's like, that shadow needs its space. I related heavily to Batman as a youth. I was a big fan of Batman, the animated series. There were different points where, like, I'm going through trauma with my parents where I'm like, I'm a lonely soul. I'm a lonely soul. My pops is deployed. My mom's is like always working. She gets up at like 5 or 6 in the morning, goes to do hair. You know what I'm saying? She goes to do hair. My mother's doing weaves. She's doing perms. You know, she getting busy all hours of the day. I'm with my grandmother. Just lonely soul. Pull up at grandma's house, make myself a nice little bowl of Kix. You know, it's Kix, it's sugar, and it's milk. It's Kix, it's sugar, and it's milk because Kix didn't come with sugar. You know, so like Rice Krispies, Kix were in that bag of you sweeten this yourself. And the way I chose to sweeten it looked like a mound of sugar, you know, that was gonna carry my little body through the day. So, you know, get your morning high. You know, I probably used up all of my sugar activity. That sounds crazy. Sugar activity. Pause. No, I can't say pause. But jokes aside, the inner child needs expression. It needs space to be stupid. It needs space to try something and be awful at it. I say awful because like everybody's trying to be good at things. I'm so good at this. Like, okay, you good at it. Like, what are you bad at? What are you bad at, but you still love to do it? Like, those are actually the more fun parts for me. Because then you get well enough, you know? Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'll be out the way. Batman had showed me some things, and then God has showed me some things because God be talking through the things we get to experience. You know what I'm saying? So I'm right there with grandma. And grandma had 12 kids. Grandma had 12 kids. Grandma from Virginia. Grandma is like old soul. Like with the source. Like grandma got her cigarettes. She got her coffee. Grandma got her own damn business she is minding every hour of the day. She got the homies that's pulling up early to run errands for her. She had this one brother that wore a suit and a top, not a top hat, but he had like a fedora and a black suit, black fedora. Always looked like he was ready to take a body to the cemetery. The older, dark-skinned brother. Just a lip, like, it was just good energy. It was the energy. And there was another brother that, I think both of them, all of them have passed at this point. So there's like, these are all ancestors, but another brother that, he had a lot that he dealt with, but my grandmother made space for him. Early morning. Grandmother right down the street from Johns Hopkins. You see nurses, doctors walk into the little parking lot, walk to their job, gotta walk back through and stop past my grandmother's joint. Some of them actually chopped it up with my grandmother. They had open hearts. And I said, how you doing, miss? How you doing, miss? You know what I'm saying? And they're just watching, eavesdropping. But yeah, grandmother made me some of that breakfast. You know, it could have been Kix and cereal sometimes, and sometimes it was the eggs and the bacon. The eggs and the bacon. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she got me right. Eggs, bacon, and the toast. Or we might go up to Northeast Market, get me a little platter, because those are the things that matter. You know, good money, great money. And this was family. And that's who raised me. My grandmother, like I said, 12 kids, multiple grandchildren. I'm closer to the end in terms of grandchildren. So I'm meeting my grandmother when she's in her probably late 50s, early 60s. And like just getting away with whatever I wanted to. And I didn't even know it, but like I think the other fun part is talking to cousins who were older at the time. They're like, you was spoiled. You was her favorite one. I was like, huh? I didn't know that. You know, I just thought I had proximity to my grandmother because of circumstance. But my mother actually has a really close birthday to my grandmother. Their birthdays are 8 days apart. And my mother's the middle child out of the 12. And it's just thinking about some of these things that she tells me about her upbringing, and I'm like, yeah, I feel for you. I'd have been in that room like, no. Imagine having to be a social worker for your parent. Like you gotta go back in the time machine to be a social worker for your parents. That'd be a wild movie concept. Don't steal it. And give me some credit if you do. You know, Bipper Films. But yeah, I had to go back and be a social worker for my mom's. I'm finna end up taking my mother out the house. But did she have to leave the house? Because if she leaves the house, how does she parent me? And then who do I get to be for y'all? Who do I get to be for the people that need me and love me? You know, how do we actually heal these curses? No, you can't be here. Come with me. I'm saving you from these people. And all jokes aside, like, there is a point where somebody has to be saved, and that's that whole nother bag. But like, I've just been thinking a lot about that. I read a book called "It Didn't Start With You," and Mark Wolin, and I got that from a brother who's a therapist, like an awesome therapist in the community. But it didn't start with you. Mark Wolin has some points in it where I was like, yeah, generational trauma looks like something just falling upon you, and you don't know why is there. Like, where's this imposter syndrome coming from? Where's this sudden discomfort? Where's this anxiety centered in? This depression, like this unshakable depression at times, right? That starts generationally. That starts with some patterns that somebody else had and now you're living in. Because I'm exploring grandma's inner child. Grandma has her first kid at 15. Right? Grandma drops out of school. She dropped out of, I don't think my grandmother made it to high school. Different times, but still, the concept is like, this is something that she had to deal with. She's one of 8. My grandmother's one of 8. My mother's one of 12. I'm one of 5. These are the realities. And then I'm out here trying to be something without having a consciousness of who I was or where I'm from. Know thyself. You see the jangles? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know thyself. I'm out here trying to be a super Christian, don't even know all of the demons I gotta deal with. Out here, I'm gonna be conscious. I'm gonna be woke. I'm gonna be righteous. Don't even know what wrongs I might have to correct, not just for myself, but for the ones who came before me. And then acknowledging that some of these wrongs weren't done from a place of malice. Some of these wrongs were done from a place of ignorance and fear. The big F word, fear. You know? I've just been thinking this morning, you know? I'm thinking. Amos N. Wilson. I'm gonna add that on the second phone. I like to have 2 phones. People be like, what you got 2 phones for? For research purposes. Research and development. I'm about to add them. Shout out to Amos N. Wilson. Social worker on YouTube, y'all. Shout out to George Howe. He has some books, poetry books. I have poetry books, but Baltimore artists. If you see his name in the chat, who were that thing before me, so many black men and women, black women and black men who have done work that I'm attempting to do. But the blessing is, like, I get to stand on the shoulders of those who came before me. And then I get a bigger blessing of shouting out the ones who did the work prior. Rosa Parks did yoga. Quincy Jones, he just passed, and there's clips of him doing yoga and having a guru at some point in his experience. There's so many people who've been blessed by doing yoga. There's so many people who wrote awesome books, have already come up with theories. There's probably already somebody who has written about the reality of inner child to inner child communication and just centering that process. Like, nothing is new here. It's just that, you know, we had an opportunity to stumble upon the things in our own experience or just build off of the realities of somebody else's. So yeah, the book prayerfully will be here December 18th or early January. I've inspired you. Yes, God bless her. I think I'm working on something new. I'm not gonna say I think I'm working on something new. I don't know what the date or expectation is, you know. I'm not in labor. What is it? I'm the mind is pregnant. That's the best way to put it. The mind is pregnant. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Many guys have come to you with the line they say is true, and you pass them by, pass them by. Anything. Cinnamon candies. You know what I gotta get? My great grandmother used to have butterscotch candies. I gotta get some butterscotch candies. Let me join you the bang. Let me you the bang. Oh, I ate. I like that. Late. L8. L8. And thank you. It's funny because I sometimes I forget things that I claim to know. Like it doesn't really matter. Not that it doesn't matter, but like having to let go of this thought of I don't have the numbers. I literally just had a friend text me and say quality over quantity. And I've been blessed to be able to add quality to space even if I'm not having the quantity of views or virality that some other people are experiencing. And I also center a lot. I don't want it too soon. I don't want it before I'm really wise enough to steward it. And I acknowledge that in my experience, there were times where I didn't have a full sense of the wisdom to actually manage the blessings I was praying for. So for anybody out there, your process is valid, no matter what it look like. Your process is valid. If you 50 bands in the hole, your process is valid. If you done fell out with all your friends and you feel like you ain't ever gonna make a new one, your process is valid. At every point, the mistakes don't define you. The way you respond to them is where you start to define yourself and your character. So I don't believe in losses. I just believe in lessons. And if you manage the lessons that come well, you'll get big lessons. So I'm always grateful for people just giving me a sense of the impact, because there was definitely a lot of times where I'm just in this space talking to myself. I started a podcast in my bedroom, talking to myself, just reflecting on the struggles I'm having as a young black educator who's been given a lot of responsibility than he felt comfortable with, but having limited opportunities to express it, because when you're talking to veteran teachers, it sounds like you're complaining and you're ungrateful or you don't know enough yet. I'm like, I'm complaining for the both of us because everything I'm struggling with, you got to deal with too. I don't think it's fair for me, and I also don't think it's fair for you to have all these responsibilities and such a small income. And also to be shamed into doing work. Like that was one of the biggest issues I had with educational spaces and nonprofit spaces. It's so much shame involved with like the expectations that come. Like, oh, you're gonna hold back your resources from community. It's like, yes, I actually am, because in this moment I need them. And if I crash out the resources I have, my time resource, my energy resource, the likelihood of you refilling my cup is not bad, like high. It's not high at all. You're more likely to not refill my cup in a communal space, nonprofit space, educational space, because there's so many people in need. Now, by the time I start to ask for my needs to be met, I'm going to be guilted into like, well, self-care. Like that's some of the wildest, I'm doing my best not to curse, but that's some of the wildest energy I've recognized as of late. That we're telling people who really need a communal care to go love themselves. Like I'm blessed to be able to do the things I do for myself because of the things I've learned. But I acknowledge there was a point where I've needed communal care and I received it. I got communal care that like allowed me to go love myself better. It's messy work. You got to make that space for yourself. It's like, it's not a lie, but like we also have to acknowledge that we got to make that space for each other. And If the space we make for ourselves isn't centered in the thought of being able to make space for others at a later point, I don't know. I'm not really a fan. Thank you. Many guys have come to you with the line they say is true, but you pass them by. Mean nothing. Why don't you let me try? Let me try. No, I don't wear a diamond ring. I don't even have a song to sing. All I know is la 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 means I love you. Oh, I don't know this out of but I could be saying, you know, I need a Twitch channel. That's facts. I'm gonna get on that joint. Shout out to Kai. Shout out to Kai for that. Young black man out here making people laugh. And, you know, minding his business. That's the other thing I be thinking about, like the desire for perfection. You gotta be this, you gotta be that. I was like, bro, I'm alive. I'm alive. Is that not enough? Sometimes it's not. For some people. That's enough for me. I'm alive. I got so many people in the grave. I be thinking about that PNB Rock song with Kodak Black. I didn't get it too many years that I won't get back. I didn't get too many years that I won't get back. People in the grave, a day goes by. I don't think about the times. I wish that I could rewind. Yeah, I gotta get active on Twitch. If I get on Twitch, is anybody gonna join me over there? Throw some dollars at me. Also, subscribe to this channel. Excuse my voice. Subscribe to this channel because I need every subscriber I can get. I need every subscriber. There's money to be made on this channel too, y'all. You know, help Bip not have to do a regular 9 to 5. Help Bip work entirely for himself. You know, I don't really need a lot of bread. That'd be the funny part. Like, I'm not saying I don't want a lot of bread. Like, I would love a lot of bread. Universe, I would love a lot of bread. You know, I love a lot of dough. I love a little bakery here. We got a little bakery. You know what I'm saying? I would really enjoy to have endless monetary resources. Endless monetary resources is what I would like. Monetary resources. To just be. I think that's the biggest part I've been centering. I've been so tired of like having to what to be to get to things. It's like, can I just be myself and get to the things? Get to the things? That would be fun. That would be really fun. I didn't get a chance too many years that I won't get back. Rest in peace, PNB Rock. I really enjoyed his music. I think that was awful. I think the violence that a lot of brothers been experiencing is awful. And women as well. There's a lot of young sisters that have been overdosing lately. If y'all out here doing the party drugs, like, be careful. I'm not saying you shameful for it like it was a problem, but acknowledge that some of these things can kill you. And that these foreign substances in your body are causing major harm. Even with like the sex. I think in my own experience, I'm not saying don't have no sex at all. Just have sex safely. Know where your partners are. Find people you trust. You know? Lay down with people that you don't got no problem getting up with. Lay down with people you don't got no problem getting up with. You getting up with somebody and looking at them crazy. I don't know. What's going on? You are worthy of laying down with somebody you can bring to Thanksgiving. You are worthy of that. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care who you done been. Love yourself, my baby. Love yourself. Out here, spite loving. I wanted to curse. Spite. I'm gonna do it just go. I'm gonna do it because the last person didn't love me. Like, what? That ain't how that works. I'm gonna have sex with his friend. You gonna have sex with a crazy friend? The friend that got Cheeto dust behind his ears because he don't wash his face? You gonna run it up with him to get somebody jealous? Don't do that. There's no honor in destroying yourself to harm others. You know? Love on yourselves, man. You look good. Love looks good on you. Shout out to Love More, Be More. Why is that just popping in my head? Actually, that's what I'm really excited about. Fashion show this Saturday. Love More, Be More at the Empanada Lady in Baltimore. At the Empanada Lady, we having a fashion show. Love More, Be More. Real dope brand. Intentional about spreading awareness around like the beauty of Baltimore. The different angles, the different sides. Got some inclusivity going. You know what I'm saying? Some diversity going. Good people's involved with it. It's gonna be a marketplace. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of good motion. Good motion. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in the Baltimore area, you're in the DMV area, pull up to the city. Saturday, 4 to 8. Saturday, December 7th, 4 to 8. We're gonna be doing the Love More, Be More fashion show. You know what I'm saying? Baltimore, baby. Built in private, blessed in public, all of that. It's not my event. I'm grateful for the brothers and sisters, the team behind it. You know what I'm saying? But I actually am gonna have opportunity to model in it. You know what I'm saying? I might have the dangles on. I got the blonde hair going. You know what I'm saying? I switched it up. You know what I'm saying? So you wanna come out and support? You wanna come out and show some love? That's where we gonna be. Good event, good motion. I didn't get it too many years that I won't get back. I got in the grave, I got yeah. But it's blessed, man. Whatever point you are in your journey, I hope it's one that's teaching you the lessons you need to be in a better point. You know? Keep your heads up. Help others lift their head. If their crown is tilted, you know, their crown is slipping off their head, remind them to pick that head up. That's real. All right, to get, you must ask. So I'm asking y'all, you know, share my page. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. You know, like this if you've enjoyed any of the commentary I've come with. You know, you enjoy my energy, you think I'm handsome, you think I'm sexy, you know, like that. You know, do what you do in that regard. If you got sisters and beautiful cousins, let them know that I'm saying hi. Yeah. Only in the age range of 25 and up. You know, 25 and up. Otherwise, I don't want any parts. So yes, like I said, life is blessed. I'm doing my best. We're doing our best. Did your best. Yeah, I'm asking with the intention of receiving. Them subscriptions, them likes, you know what I'm saying? Post something, share it. You think I'm the stupidest person you seen on live? Let everybody know it's a big dummy talking on live. You know, do that. So that the people that's righteous in the mind can see it's a beautiful black man having good conversation in the morning on his way to work through the traffic. You know, getting good sun on his face. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, let him know. Let him know. Go ahead, try to play me. That's really what would be funny too. I learned that when I was coming up. People would be bullying me, talking crazy. that spotlight had hit me, and all the shorties they tried to like get on their side by making me look like a lame was choosing up, choosing up. Silence. He said, don't even worry about that. I was like, don't worry about it. I won't worry about it. He don't even know what he's talking about. You're right. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's just fine self. He doesn't know what he's talking about. You think I'm cute? You think I'm cute? I think you're cute too, shawty. Yeah. That's what's so funny is like people so used to having motion be handed to them. I'm used to having to make it. I was the kid playing with action figures. Why you got dolls? Cause I don't got friends. At my smallest soldiers toy set, what was the joint? It was one of the Max Payne the video game. Max Steel. I think it was Max Steel. I had the Max Steel action figures, had my Batman action figures, my Dragon Ball Z joints. I was one of them kids. Yeah, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight to the death. I was that kid. Today they probably had to get me tested. We're gonna fight to the death. No, you're not gonna take her. Like, you're not gonna take her freeze. Like, what? What is wrong with that little boy? Is he all right? I was that kid. And I think even like the fun part for me and when I was teaching is I prioritize those types of students. Like I think kids like that need to be able to be zany. They need to be weird. Because they try to fit into the molds. Them little kids be depressed and anxious. I was that kid that got depressed and anxious. And angry. I had anger management issues as a kid. Because I couldn't use my action figures anymore. Put the toys up. My mom's did a sweep. My mom's did a sweep of all the toys. She said, y'all not cleaning your toys. I'm taking the toys. Took all the toys, threw them away. I lost my toys, man. The voices started popping up in my head. I couldn't use the figures no more. The figures couldn't have the voices. So now I'm just running around with the voices in my head talking about, I'm gonna harm you. You gonna harm me? Now I'm battling these voices. And then somebody in school, a real voice, say something crazy. I'm swinging on them. Little first and second graders just swinging at everybody. I thought I was Creed. A little Creed. Good thing was it wasn't too many people that was mad with me. You know, most people understood my energy. It was vibing, but a couple people just was haters. Oh, we had to get that in order. As children. Through fists. Eventually I'm doing little people anger management. I'm sitting there doing Woo-Sa in second and third grade. Namaste. This is like what, 2004, 2005. So I laugh when I sit with like, damn, I became a yoga instructor. The little me was sitting in them offices, irritated, waiting for my mother to show up so I could go back to class, or being taken out of class to go talk to an anger management specialist, a counselor. And an adult me got the opportunity to be a teacher and be that counselor for other students. And then be a yoga instructor in the community. And still do this work, all right? So I just be laughing. I just be chilling. But I'm a guy from a place, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm a guy from a place. I do a lot of things. I'm in the community of Baltimore, Maryland. You know what I'm saying? Charm City, Bipper. Like I said, Keith the Vandal, a guy from a place, Charm City, Bipper, Keith the Vandal. Marquise is the name my mama gave me. I believe that one day made better is many days made greater. I'm uplifting you to be in a world that cares. If I keep it to myself, I believe that's unfair. The joys we're given are best when shared. Visionaries never die, legends survive. Through the seeds we sow daily, we get better with time. I've really got a long sign off, but I've been a lot of people, you know. I would hate to have to shorten it. You know, so that's why I chose my own space. People like, what topics are you centering? I don't know, bro. Catch me when you catch me. You post too much. Look at it when you can see it, bro. I'm not doing this. I'm not curating. I'm going to say it like this. I'm not curating shit for nobody. Curating it for the little person I was and for people that honor that type of person. And everything after that is something that's not my business. Respectfully. So I'm grateful. There's so many people that have blessed my experience. Why do you do it that way? Think about this. See, y'all think too much and do too little. Y'all think too much and do too little. And say so stringently, say so strictly what it's supposed to be. I'm like, I know so much about what it's supposed to be from people who ain't did nothing. This is how life's supposed to be. I said, what life did you live? Oh, you went to a job and you got a house and you raised some kids. And all your kids hate you. Or at least they don't tell you they do. And you low-key still hate yourself. Okay. I'm not saying that to shame you. But I think you got some work to do, my friend. Or just stop telling other people what they doing wrong. Like, I'm doing my best to not, like, oh, this isn't what you're supposed to do. This is what you should do. This is what you could do. This is another option. Your money funny. You know, it's loans. Your money funny is financial advisors. You know what I'm saying? Your money funny don't mean that you're an awful person. People money be funny. It's not a testament to your character because you can't manage finances. I come from generational poverty. Like, my grandmother didn't drop out in middle school because, like, she dropped out of middle school. She was down bad. Actually, I don't know that to be certain. Let me stop with that, because there's some other things that I've had to start to examine. But just examining, like, I'm from a really, really stressful place, a really traumatized place, and I've been blessed to not be the full reality. Like, my full reality hasn't been trauma. It's been a lot of joy within that, you know. So I just been doing my best and doing better at centering that. I wish y'all the best. You know, we're built in private, we're blessed in public. We are the product of our faith's abundance. Be beautiful. I Met God in the Gutter is available on Amazon. The Birth of the Yogi is available on Amazon. Marquise Carrington is the author. I appreciate anybody who has watched this to completion. Anybody who's taken a little bit of time to watch it. But I'm going to be out. I have made it to where I am heading. I was heading, you know. I'm grateful. So, bit.